A very good evening, our dear viewers, and welcome back on Let's Talk Tourism. Of course, we always talk and share about tourism experiences. We always have conservation talks. We always have travel experiences. So we all have different tourism updates. So it's quite a great uh, uh, things that we intend to share. Of course, that you guys need to be knowing. And tonight, we're of course having young tourism practitioners that of course have passion for the sector, and they would really want to make sure that the sector is moving very well. And these of course, we are in partnership with Canine Safaris Limited, and of course, we are working to make sure that everything that we deliver is quite interesting and great, uh, uh, and of course, that is more great. So, with me in the studio are the young tourism practitioners from different institutions of learning, from different uh, colleges, from different universities. But what is the main essence of this is to make sure that what we are delivering to you is most great and greatest of all. So our tonight discussion is about tourist guiding and of course destination knowledge and understanding that who are these custodians that are protecting our natural resources, who are these custodians that are making sure that they are giving out grateful information to our tourists once they are here. So we tend to know that tourist guides, these are the most so common people who, of course, have been leading tours and not only giving clients information, but they tend to protect the country's image. So if a tourist guide has maybe done something wrong to the clients, the image comes back to the country, and we have a bad reputation. And of course, it goes back now to our company, or it goes back to the organization board, for example, Uganda Tourism Board. But we want to make sure that we shape the young tourism practitioners such that whatever they are delivering, whatever they are giving out is so much interesting, and they end up being educators, they end up being storytellers, they end up being custodians of nature, they aim conservation and protection because they are the ones that have the tourists during that particular time. So with me, I'm being joined with some of my great people here. Basically, tell the viewers about your names, then we get to enroll.
Thank you so much. I will start by introducing myself. My name is Niraneza Sharin, a student from Uganda Wildlife Research and Training College. I'm pursuing diploma in wildlife and tourism management.
Thank you so much, Mr. Morris. Uh, I'm happy to be here on this show. My name is Hudson Tayebwa, a student at Makerere University Business School, Malala campus.
Me, I'm called Derek Nasasra. I'm a student at Uganda Wildlife Research and Training College. I'm pursuing a diploma in wildlife tourism management.
So, Sharin, let's come now to probably you have always been into this area or where your college is situated. You are within a conservation area and maybe a protected area. So you have been having that experience of field guiding probably as a student. Okay. So what are those field guiding practical skills could you really maybe have gotten from your institutions of learning during that particular time? And you would encourage maybe to someone who is watching us who is going to be a tourist guide that he or she need to be having. Yes.
Thank you so much. Once again, I'm Niraneza Sharin, and I will talk about the guiding skills which I've gained in our school of Uganda Wildlife Research and Training College. It's found in Queen Elizabeth National Park, Kasese. At my school, we study about different guiding skills. For example, we study about birding. Birding, it's all about knowing about different bird species. And for example, those bird species we have a black-headed gonolake, a spur-winged lapwing, and other bird species. Maybe another skill which we have gained there at our school, we we learn about wildlife identification. What do I mean by wildlife identification? Here, we identify or differentiate wildlife. For example, I can differentiate a female elephant and a male elephant, maybe even a male hippopotamus and a female hippopotamus. Another thing, the other skills which we have gained at our school, I have gained skills, for example, we learn about GPS. This GPS helps us like for navigation. GPS, we use waypoints which show the starting point where you've started your destination to the end point, even coordinates. Hope you get even coordinates. So that's helping us in the tourism sector. We are not getting lost because of GPS. It's showing us different directions. Maybe what I can tell my fellow friends who are planning to become tour guides, what I can tell you is just have passion in this tourism sector. Don't worry about anything that will I get to understand what birding is? Will I get to know to differentiate plants what? No. No need of fearing. It's something easy as long as you have passion. Thank you.
We heard what she said, and probably that's some great point that was picked. That is about GPS. Okay, so most of the young people they are not well conversed with technology, and the GPS really needs that element, right? You being somehow a tech survey. So, what advice would you give now to someone who is not a tech survey but is in the sector, but he is supposed maybe to have that particular skill for GPS?
Thank you so much. GPS, maybe what I can advise that person.
Mm-hmm.
You just, this generation, you have phones. So you just go and you search on your Google, like Google, yeah? You write GPS essentials. So you tap on that GPS essentials, it will bring different options like waypoints, images, such things.
Mm.
So you will get to know like the order, how to follow those things.
Mm.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. We'll be getting back to her. Yes, she's still having some more information to share with us. Let's come now to Mr. Anderson from MOBS. That is Makerere University, Makerere University of Business School, and of course in Borel campus. Okay. We understand that guides need to be having this type of what of information regarding different destinations. Now, if you try to realize that Uganda as a country, Uganda we are known as the Pearl of Africa, right? So if we are known as the Pearl of Africa, so what does this mean? This means that uh, this means that we have a blend of activities that we could really give or that we could offer to our tourists, right? And these tourists need to be having guides. So let's come to the point of destination knowledge. Young people at the moment, we understand that yes, reading, understanding, and knowing multiple things is a bit complex. Someone cannot understand about botany, someone cannot understand about, like she said, nature interpretation, that is under wildlife. Someone cannot understand the butterflies. We have people who are into monarchs. You get it. So if now you're taking a tourist and you have less skills regarding the destination, then it means that visitors are going to check out that indeed you have less information. So what do you say about that?
Destination knowledge, it refers to having a thorough knowledge about the destination, and to reach a destination you must have the knowledge, the attractions, the history, and the activities on that destination. For example, uh, when you let's say you have a trip to Lake Bunyonyi, you must know the history of that area, the activities on that lake, so that you can be able to tell your clients that you see this Lake Bunyonyi, it has two, it has 29 highlands, and it's one of Africa's deepest lakes. And that destination knowledge helps tourists to know what the destination is all about.
Derek, this comes now to the point of course, you know that if maybe these guides are going with what are going with the tourists, of course, there these guides need to be so much confident in whatever they are delivering. Let's come to the element of confidence and communication skills. What do you say about that?
Self-confidence will market you as a guide, first
Mm,
of all,
mm,
and that your clients will so be happy for your confidence. And what you tell your clients when you're guiding, and they pick what you're telling them easily because you're confident, you're giving them right information, you're skilled. So you have to be self-confident that as well, so that you market yourself as I've told you, and maybe to for easy, I can say maybe for easy determination. Yeah.
okay, yeah. Then there are some cases where you find you're so challenged as a guide because maybe you made a mistake on the information maybe you gave. Okay, because they maybe someone you could lie someone that this is a winged spa lap wing, but it is maybe like it is like yes, or for example like it's a pied crow, or maybe for example it is like a plover. So how would you really convince back, how would you get that confidence to again now tell the tourists that, hey, sorry, when we check this is like this, like this.
Tourism, we have got guiding materials. Let's
Mm,
say the bird books.
mm,
We have got apps like the
mm,
Marine app for birds. Of course, if you're not so much confident with the information that
mm.
you have to use the Marine apps for bird identification.
Yes.
We should do, you should do, use bird books. Like for example, you say like when I tell the tourist or the client like the bird was a spar-winged lapwing, and they tell him or her that it is a pied crow. When that means when you have a bird book or a marlin, you
Mm,
check first and then you go back to them and tell them the clear information about the book, about the bird.
mm, mm. Where you find maybe uh, you have, for example, been affected by some circumstances. For example, like when you are taking the tourists, and maybe you are delayed by weather situations, or maybe the vehicle got a puncture, and maybe you're delayed in the way how you're offering your what, yeah, your services to the tourist. So probably, as a professional guide, how would you manage such a kind of challenges?
As well, we have got challenges. Sometimes when we have clients, maybe on a trip, you find, let me use like Queen Elizabeth, find it's a rainy season in male, particularly in Kasese,
Mm,
deep in Queen Elizabeth,
mm,
and you find that you have a morning game drive to maybe Kasenyi, and you find that the roads are very slippery and muddy,
mm,
and of course you can't go there when it's raining, when the roads are very muddy.
mm,
Uh, you can go as well, but when prepared, you can use gumboots,
mm,
umbrellas.
mm.
Of course, you have to,
Raincoats.
yeah, raincoats. You have to tell them that where we are going, the weather is not so good.
Mm,
Let's go when prepared.
mhm,
Carry your gumboots, carry your raincoats, umbrellas, so
mm,
that when we reach there, we can persevere and do our activities as well.
mm,
And of course, you have to be calm as a
mm,
tour guide.
mm,
You create create nice stories to the clients so that they don't lose morale. Uh, and maybe you can change activities. If you are going to Kasenyi for game drive, maybe tell them that now we are going Kazinga channel for boat cruise as the weather gets well for the game drive. Those roads there, they are not so good, so at times you have to first wait for them to get so well a bit dry, and then you proceed with the game drive.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you,
yes,
Mr.
yes. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And like you said, honesty is key. Yeah, yeah, guides, we need to be so much honest, and we have to make sure that in the case something is not working on very well, please be open and then also inform the what? Inform the tourist about that particular thing, other than hiding things, and you end up maybe finding that it's you who is in the wrong, yet they are just these unexpected what? Circumstances and conditions. Let's come to Addison. Addison, we understand, like you said, that when you go for a boat cruise, maybe for example you have gone for a boat cruise, or maybe you are done with Goliath trekking in Windy, and maybe you are going for cultural community cultural experiences, and they of course what builds most is there is different stories that you need maybe to do what to deliver out to the tourists. So we understand that even storytelling is so much unique and important, and mostly when it comes to the element of culture. Okay, culture, it's all about storytelling. How important, how do we build our stories? How should guides build their stories? And what do you think that maybe a professional guide should base on, or what a professional guide should do to have an engaging story for
Uh,
the tourists, of course?
okay, thank you, sir. A tour guide uh, should have an engaging storytelling. He or she should tell the clients an interesting story. For example, let's say you are taking your clients to Lake Bunyonyi, and you want to give them a story about Punishment Highland. You can tell them that this highland, it's where they used to abandon those girls that used to get pregnant before marriage.
Mm.
And you can, in so doing, you make the story engaging and interesting, whereby the clients will will be interested, will not be bored, and will like the trip.
And of course, yes, thank you so much, Mr. Addison, for that. But still, again, I wanted to inform you that please, storytelling, you need to make sure that you have nice stories. Let the stories connect different backgrounds. Let it be, for example, to where it originated. Connect it very well. Let the client be imagining the story. If, for example, you're giving a story about Lake Imburo, the formation, how the lake came in, how the floods really, how the floods came into existence, how the other particular mountain came into existence. Or if, for example, you're telling a story at Lake Unyoni, for example, the Punishment Island, or if you can slope down to to Rukunjiri and you give that story about the Tshizi Falls. That is what we mean by storytelling. Craft out on the way how you're supposed to plan your story, and then bring the action moments. Let the story be so much engaging in the way that the client is imagining whatever you're speaking, such that the client is going to reflect back on that story even if they are done with their trip. So storytelling and probably on cultures and probably what builds us as the nation, as Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, really matter a lot. You might not tell a lot of stories on these wildlife species, but go ahead, tell different stories about our cultures. Go ahead and tell unique stories about what they always see as the Sabe people that do the circumcisions, the whatever. That is how we build our country and build. We have nice reputations as far as storytelling is concerned. Of course, everyone would want to listen to the female in the house. Once again, That is Madame Shireen, of course, from UWRTC, Uganda Research and Training College from Kasese. So, uh, Madame Shireen, so we understand we have what we call safety, okay? Safety, safety, maybe the safety of visitors, of tourists within the national park. So there are some cases that always tend to happen in that some guides are what? Like are not all that much serious onto their business. They bring the tourist at the hotel. They drop the tourist there. Immediately, they leave them there and they go to do their own things. For example, you find there these guides who do smoking. There are these guides who take alcohol. You drop the tourists there, you walk away. You don't know what they have eaten, you don't know what they have given them, and they even call you. Hey, John wanted to know where are you because we are done with our lunch. You are not concerned with what is happening for them. And basically, if anything happens, who is responsible? It is the guide, and it's the company, it is the organizing body, and it is the country that is going to be held responsible. So now, what essential safety and ethical maybe principles you think that tourist guides should be able to observe and put into considerations once they have these particular tourists in the country?
Thank you so much. Us as wildlife students, we build for conservation.
Mm,
I will start with that. As a professional tour guide, you have to first brief your clients before continuing or before doing anything. Let me take an example. I've got clients, they have come at Queen Elizabeth National Park. As a professional tour guide, I have to brief them, I have to tell them all about the park, and I have to give them the park regulations.
mm,
What are the park regulations? For example, as I said, we build for conservation, we
mhm.
conserve.
Yes, yes, that's true.
They should not litter, like polythene bags, plastic bottles. I have to brief them as a professional tour guide and tell them that, my dear clients, you should not do this and this. You should not throw polythene bags in the park. You should you should not make a lot of noise when we are going like inside or deep the park, because there are some animals which don't like a lot of noise.
Mm,
Noise makes them disturbed.
mm,
So I have to brief them and tell them that you should not make a lot of noise. You should not disturb the animals, like throwing stones to those animals.
mm,
You should just do what I tell you as a tour guide, and I'll
mm,
also do what you tell me when I'm telling my clients. So it means, as a professional tour guide, I have to first brief my clients before taking them anywhere,
mm,
either a boat cruise, either a nature walk, or anything. For example, there are some animals which don't like shouting colors. I
mhm,
have to tell them that when we are going deep inside the park, we should put on like dull colors. For example, black, gray, colors like green, because green matches with nature.
mm,
You don't have to put on shouting colors like white, orange. Some animals don't like such colors. They will think that danger is coming. So I have to tell them things like that, because they are safe precautions. You get,
mm,
those things will make the tourists to be safe. So
mm.
as I've told you, you have to act professionally as a tour guide.
So, in short, you have to be responsible of
Thank
what you're
you.
supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Then that takes us to the next question. You, as you know, many young people aspired to become tour guides or tourist guides, uh, or it could be ranger guides. So, according to the knowledge or information that you have, or the skills that you have, what advices do you give to these young tourism practitioners to make sure that what they are developing or what they are going to provide to the destination is that?
As I told you in my first discussion, you have to have passion for what you are doing.
Mm,
My best advice to those who are planning to become tour guides, you have to have passion in what you're doing. If you are to become a tour guide, you have to have passion in tourism. You have to know different destinations. For example, if you're a tour guide, you have to move to different destinations. You have to make different tours. For example, if I'm studying in Queen Elizabeth National Park, I have to travel like to Lake Mburo National Park, like to Semiliki, like different places, so that I get to know much about wildlife. So as a tour guide, you have to have passion for what you are doing. I think that's the simple thing I can tell you.
Okay, okay. So, uh, like she has told you, that is what you need to know. But besides that, let's go for a short commercial short break. And of course, I tell you that Hudson Tours and Travel, they really have some nice packages for you. For this, probably September, we have to travel because if you don't travel our countries, then we are not knowing what our countries do offer. We only know our cities that we are into, but different packages are coming up on board with Hudson Tours and Travel. Their contact are down below the screen, and you'll be able to tap on them, plan what they have for the September, that is Murchison Falls. Of course, at 240,000, that is really less compared to what you always go for outing and to what you always have for different meals. So, okay, yes, welcome from that short commercial short break, of course. Now, Mr. Hudson, uh, let us come now to wildlife interpretation. Okay, so when guiding tourists in destinations such as Queen Elizabeth National Park, how would you explain wildlife behavior? Of course, without disturbing the entire ecosystem within the park. You do not, like she said, when you're going for nature interpretation or when you're going for, you have tourists and maybe you're heading for a nature walk and you get to see something, how would you describe or how would you tell this information to the tourists without disturbing the animals in their natural habitats?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Morris. Uh, Wildlife combines flora and fauna, and if I'm talk about animals, uh, you can you can have a trip, let's say to Queen Elizabeth, and on your trip you can be able to identify animals, and you can avoid interrupt their natural habitats. such as having a social distance, uh, not making a loud noise.
Here I'm talking about how to be safe with the animals, maybe in the park. Uh, First of all, we have animals like elephants, and elephants are so aggressive, and we know them as dangerous animals. An elephant can kill you within a minute. So if you remember, we do receive clients who don't know much about wild animals, and in that you have to address them first. Tell them we are going into a park. Where we are going to meet different animals and animals which are very dangerous. For like as I've told you, the elephants, lions, leopards. We have to make social distance when we are in the park. Well, like when we meet animals, those animals like the elephants, which are so aggressive. An elephant for it is so funny. Even when you are in your own business, for it can decide to attack you. So in that, to safeguard your clients, you have to keep like when you are in a tourist vehicle, let's say. You don't have to get out. You have to remain. You have to get your clients from the vehicles. When maybe you're in a Land Cruiser, when maybe you're in a tourist vehicle, you have to make sure that you are inside the vehicle for a life guiding session. And maybe where there are some in some areas whereby you'll need your clients to get out for maybe photographs, uh, but then you have to do what? You have to keep social distance with the animals and then maybe the clients.
We need to understand what we call distancing in wildlife, probably. So, for example, you need to make sure that you maintain what we call the flight distance. We have flight distance and critical distances. So, if you're going to guide, probably you tourist, and you're in a nature walk, please maintain the flight distance, because within the flight distance, yes, you'll be safe, but you're not safe 100%. You're safe around like 50%. And you're closer maybe to your vehicles, or you're closer okay, you're far away from the animal. In case of any attack, the animal knows, actually, they have this intellectual that even if I make a small step like this, these people are going to be far. So let me just leave them, let me see them from a distance. Whatever they do, that's it, because even if I make an attack, I cannot be able to reach them. You explain to whatever you want to explain to your tourists. You take pictures, because we have now, with modern technology, we have nice gadgets, we have nice lenses, we have nice phones that can be able to pull what? Different, maybe, yeah, content for you guys. Okay, so that is what maybe you could really need as you provide these great experiences to your tourists while in this particular ecosystem of this wildlife species. Then come back on you. We understand that modern technology is the way to go, of course. So if modern technology is the way to go, now what we have different things, or different, maybe I may say, tools that we intend to use. For example, GPS. For example, social media. For example, bad apps. I don't need to carry a bad book, but I have an app on my phone that tells me that these are birds. You get it? Uh-huh. Then we also have other technological tools that maybe these guides need to be using. So let's come now to the point of technological era or advancements. Now, guides, we have these old guides, for example, who have been in the sector for over maybe 30, 40 years. Or we have the young guides that are coming up on board. So how should today's tour guides use technology, of course, to improve visitor experiences?
Me as a tour guide, of course, you have first we have got the GPS, I've got the Google Maps, I've got nice phones, and maybe my point will be so much GPS,
Mm.
whereby you can use GPS for navigation while you're in the park, so that you know where you're from and where you're going by marking points, and using Google Maps, of course. Google Maps also do the same. They help you where you are. Maybe let's say if clients are from America, they will easily know that they are America. That now they are in Uganda, and we have got even uh, marine app for birds. Let's say maybe we have gone for bird watching. Let's say at the Mnyanyange, Lake Mnyanyange, no, not only for flamingo birds. Uh, we don't have we don't have to carry the bird books, and yet we have phones. We will have apps, and apps which can give us a reality information about what we want about birds that you have gone to watch. Of course, you can get a phone, you put an app, then you see a bird you can't understand. Maybe, of course, you may be understanding you as a client, you as a tour guide, but a client doesn't understand. What you do, you use the app, you you guide that client about the bird through that app.
Guides need to use Google Maps,
Mm-hmm.
GPS, and other technological tools
Mm.
during their guiding process,
Mm.
so as to so that they can give rightful information to their clients.
Mm.
Guides can use trackers, for example, tracking different kinds of animals, for example, gorillas, maybe even other animals in different parks like Queen Elizabeth National Park, Lake Kimbero National Park. So using trackers is better when you're like searching for animals in different places, because you will not just go in the park and you see an animal just when it's there standing waiting for you. You have to use a tracker to look for that animal. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Now you said about guides need to use trackers. In Queen Elizabeth, we do lion monitoring projects, and these animals are always given what we call the collars. And these collars, they have different maybe they have different detective, I may say, mechanisms that are connected with the devices that guides are holding. That, for example, like Uganda Wildlife Authority staff that are holding, and it's the Uganda Wildlife Authority that keeps seeing the what, the information or the data of these particular animals where they are. We as tourist guides from companies, we don't access this information. How would guides be able to see that I need to track this animal, this is where it is, let me go there?
They use their phones, I think.
Okay, yeah, she gave the rightful information, but yes, we all know that these are scholars from different colleges. But of course, regarding her point, is that at times, if you are in touch with ranger guides, uh, with the ranger guides, you are able to maybe to get in touch with them, but that one is not supposed to be recommended because you have to pay. You have to pay for lion tracking, you have to pay for mongoose tracking, you have to pay for all these. Okay, yeah. So her point is a bit technical, but it goes back to the point of paying that amount of money to make sure that you provide that actual. It's what we call experiential tourism, and you provide that particular experience to the tourists. Yes, it has been so much an engaging and informative interaction that these young scholars are trying to bring out on board. But another thing that I could tell you is that ensure that guides you're moving with modern technology. Ensure that you travel planners. There are some cases whereby we have travel planners at the same time they are guides that do this particular thing. For example, you need to know that we have Quest. Quest is an online platform that engages or that help tour operators to craft out unique tour packages, and of course with automatic pricing that would really help you, and with great 1,000 beautiful images that you need to attach for your tourists, and you send a nice PDF just to make sure that you have a higher conversion rate. That is, you turn your clients into book. You can turn them into bookings as fast as possible. So, as we are closing this, one word for the viewer. Just one word for the viewer regarding our topic.
Continue having passion in tourism, because tourism is even more than a nice course according to me, because I've learned a lot in tourism. So just continue loving tourism, and those who feel like they are not interested, just have that passion so that you travel. And I continue telling those who are interested in becoming tour guides to come and join Uganda Wildlife Research and Training College, Kasese, in Queen Elizabeth National Park. Thank you.
I don't have much to say, but let's travel. Let's explore places. Let's explore Uganda. Let's explore our country.
I'm so glad that I'm here on Top Notch TV. Thank you, Mr. Morris, for hosting me. I really appreciate our dear photographers. I really appreciate you too. Maybe what I can tell you, you people outside there, you should have love for tourism. Tourism is the best thing. As I've told you, tourism, you travel, you tour around, you explore Uganda, you explore everywhere. I remain telling you, this world is like a book. For those who don't travel, they will not read a new page. I remain as Derek. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, our dear viewers. And of course, this has been Let's Talk Tourism. And this is the show that really brings you different insights, different updates within the sector. And we need to understand that, as of course, the sector is growing. Recently, the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, of course, with its implementing partners, recently actually, they are starting a project within Queen Elizabeth National Park in Chikorongo, where we have our Equator Monument, and 9.7 billion have been injected in for the commencement of the project. And what are they going to put? They are going to put different infrastructure. Those are the washrooms, the restaurants, different museums within that particular place. So what does this mean? This means that to the young people who are coming out uh, with who are coming out into the industry and the sector. These are different opportunities that you need to make sure that you keep updated and you keep exploiting. Position yourself such that you are able to get these particular opportunities. And of course, as we make this into a final conclusion, we know that guides are the custodians of our nature. They are the ones that preserve and protect. And of course, educate and showcase the rest of the world what we have as the country, Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. So what does this mean? This means that heavy investment as your tourist guides is highly needed, not only in knowing what you're supposed to tell them, but get to understand other related things, for example, digital technological tools, get to understand, have great communication skills, be confident, be a content creator. Of course, if you go there, you showcase what you do, you showcase what you offer, how you guide. That is another selling point that you will be having. So, of course, thank you so much for being with us on Let's Talk Tourism. I remain Captain Pina Morris at Top Notch TV. Again, we are having another huge panelists who are going to share with that. And of course, we need to understand that these are students from different colleges, from different universities, and they are pursuing the internship programs with Canine Safaris Limited. Until we meet next time, bye bye.